ourselves properly together, so that we can look pretty on Facebook. So we definitely want to head over there. You can see our faces and you'll see it was worth the wait, I promise. But welcome once again. My name is Animwaa, Addo. This is Stronger and Sassy. And we are on until 8 o'clock. We're continuing with the conversation that we started last week. So last week, if you missed the show, we were talking about beauty, the changing faces of beauty, and a woman's struggle to remain beautiful when the concept of beauty is being changed constantly. And today, we're going to extend that conversation, but we also want to talk now about raising our kids and the kind of ideas that we're putting into the next generation's head about beauty. Again, if mothers are not feeling beautiful because they don't look like what they're seeing in magazines or on the TV, then how do they then instill a sense of beauty in their children? So I have different guests today, so I definitely want to hear what they have to say about the conversation as we started last week, and then we'll extend it in that direction. As always, I'd love to hear from you. Our WhatsApp lines are open, 055 1111997. We'll open our phone lines later on as well, 0302216541. But send me your messages. Head over to Facebook, and you can be live and interactive there as well. Once again, good evening and welcome. This is Strong and Sassy on your superstation Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Animwaa, Anim Addo, and joining me this evening, I have Linda Addo. She's a PR practitioner and not a stranger to Strong and Sassy. Hi, Linda.
Hello, Animwaa.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. You're glowing.
Yeah, okay, I'll mind you. And also Ethel Ajololo Mafo. She's a CEO for Junior Shapers. We know she and her family have taken over the Strong and Sassy. So she's Marilyn's sister. If you're a regular, then you know. But hello, Ethel.
Hello, Animwaa. I'll add on to Linda. You are glittering.
Oh, gosh, wow. Well, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I always appreciate that you make time to be here.
Pleasure to be here.
So let's start from last week. Last week we were talking about how the definition of beauty has changed over time. There was even a time both of you are rocking short hair. There was a time when short hair was not beautiful. Yeah. I have my natural hair on. There was a time when natural hair was not the thing, and then it became the thing, and then it's not the thing. You know, it's in and out. So how do you kind of just remain true to who you are when the concepts of beauty are just constantly changing? So that's what we did last week. So let me just take your thoughts on that, Linda. Do you want to start for us?
Yes, I think that the most important thing is for an individual, and a woman for that matter, to feel confident in yourself. We all have different looks. But for me, if you are a Christian, I am a Christian. So I'll use the Christian, I'll come from the Christian perspective.
Sure.
If you're a Christian, you need to remember that you were created in the image of God.
That's interesting. We didn't get the Christian perspective.
Yes.
So that's a good
So it doesn't matter how you don't need to compare yourself to another person. Once you understand the fact that I, Linda Addo, was created in the image of God, even if I don't like the way I look, I have to appreciate the fact that I am alive and God wanted me to be here and God made me in his own image. So once you have that, you're good.
I have so many questions. Well, I'll come back to you on that. Ethel.
Yeah, so I wonder why, as I grew up, I wondered why we take so much interest in studying subjects like math, English, and science, and what have you, and we never take self-study seriously. So the subject called self is the most important subject that anyone can study. If you want to know who you are, be confident, as Linda is saying, it's about making time to know self, know your strength, know what fits you, your body type. To know yourself is the beginning of your success story. Okay, so it's important that you take time to study self. Know who you are and know who you are not. that's the starting point if you want to achieve something in life, if you want to differentiate yourself from others. So this is the mindset that I carry to be confident. Yes.
Okay. But I mean, both of you have sort of focused or looked to the sense of self and the confidence of all of that, which is good. But I mean, in a world where you're judged based on the way that you look, no matter how you feel about yourself, if you don't look nice, you don't look nice. You know, if you go for a job interview with 3 or 4 women who fit better into society's ideals for beauty, it just means that you're the ugliest. Like, there's confidence or not, that's what it is. You know, and I think that probably the more confident or the more self-aware you are, you know whether you are a stunning woman or whether you're average. I mean, I'm just trying to be realistic here.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're stunning, whether you're average, whether you're not so good looking. You know, so how do you find your place in that space? Like, confidence aside, how do you make yourself known when you enter a room where perhaps you're not the most beautiful woman?
So the question is, who defines beauty?
I mean, as in terms of society, what
I know,
society
but then
accepts as.
the question I ask myself is, who defines beauty? Nobody has to define beauty for you, because, like you said, that's, you know, people would always change the status quo. So 20 years ago, beauty would have been defined differently. If you had natural hair, I'm sure it wasn't even a thing back in the day, but it is now. Everybody is trying to rock their natural hair. You indicated that I didn't even realize that Ethel and I both have this pixie cut hair. Back in the day, it was a thing. At some point, it wasn't a thing. So it keeps changing. One thing that has to remain constant is what you feel, how you feel about yourself, how confident you are in your own skin, and knowing who you are. Once that is stuck in your head, it doesn't matter what the society or the world defines beauty, you would always have that confident attitude that says, whether I have long hair, whether I have short hair, whether I have, I'm skinny or I'm plus size, whether I'm short or I'm, tall, I'm beautiful.
To
Nothing
yourself.
exactly. Because people would always have their perceptions, people will always have the opinion. Society would always try to, redefine what beauty is. But once you have that self-confidence, it doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter what society says. I'm beautiful.
You
And that
agree?
is it.
Yeah.
I support her too. It's about mindset and how you feel about yourself. But you can only feel beautiful and great about yourself if you add value to yourself. I also went into that state where I'd had 3 kids in succession. 3 years I'd had 3 children,
Yeah,
and
we know
I'd
your
lost
story.
myself. And so at that moment, but as I started finding my purpose, like I started, finding what I'm good at, like what God has placed on my heart, I started feeling beautiful again because people started appreciating me. Oh wow, this is a great concept. We've always been thinking about who is going to take care of our boys. Ethel, this is a great initiative. We support you. I started feeling beautiful. And I wasn't looking at how I was looking physically,
yeah.
but internally I started feeling good about myself, and naturally permeated everywhere. Now I wanted to now look good too, because people were calling me for interviews and stuff, So it's about what you feel inside and about how you add value to yourself. Find your skills that you're good at, find your talents and nurture it. Learn something, something that people will know you for, that you'll be relevant for, and it starts, building up how you feel about yourself. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put you guys on the spot a little bit, because, today we're really supposed to be talking about how our kids are going to kind of find their way in this changing world of beauty. But maybe just for the next 10 minutes, I actually want to talk about Christian women and beauty, because you brought it up. And I always think about conversations that I've had and how women who are Christians, and believe in a certain way of life, or, presenting themselves in a certain way, have had some sort of identity issues in terms of how to dress, how to. So I want us to kind of talk about that. I also want to talk about, and again, I am putting you on the spot. I also want to take your opinions of what you think of Christian women who are in the limelight and how they dress. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I feel like it's actually really important, because there are times when you see women who are Christians, whether it's singers, whether it's whatever, and you cannot tell the difference between them and a slay queen. So I mean, if we're talking beauty and we're talking children, these are the musicians that our children are listening to, or the actresses that our children are watching, who are saying that they're Christians. So let's break that down and do that. You're a Christian woman, like you said, Ethel as well, right? How much does your religion influence the way that you dress?
Wow. So
do you need us to go on a commercial break and come back to that? Because I know I put you on the spot.
No way. No, I was brought up in a Catholic home. So I didn't have a choice but to be decent, but not necessarily dress in a certain way that would make me feel I was what's the usual term, people, holier than thou. We were just comfortable, so you didn't have to. I'm trying to be careful.
No,
there's certain churches you have to have a scarf. You need to cover your
arms,
exactly
up to all the way down below.
Catholics
your
are
knees.
quite liberal, so that you have that freedom, so long as it's decent. My mom and dad were very particular. You need to dress decently, so we didn't have that kind of restriction. So,
but what does decent mean? What did decent mean? Because decent could mean different things to different people.
No, I think that Animwaa.
Ethel, do you want to help?
Okay, so I have a similar background to Linda's. I mean, I was a sophomore, but one thing that stood out in our home was that you don't have to be revealing to be beautiful. You don't have to expose certain parts of your body to be beautiful, So whenever we dressed up to go anywhere, we made sure that we covered up well. Yes, and so that was what guided me. And I made sure also that I dressed to suit my body type. And making sure that I'm also not making my dressing in a way that will make someone sin. Okay, so that was also, at the back of my mind, So as a Christian woman, know that your body is the temple of God, okay? And so if God will dwell in you, you must also have that, like Linda said, a form of decency. Will God be happy to dwell in this temple? If I'm exposing myself, I mean, my boobs are all out, will God be happy to dwell in this temple? That's what guides me. That's the philosophy that guides me. And so, yes, Christian women should look good. You see, I believe in enhancing beauty. Okay. I was invited to come on Strong and Sassy. I needed to do some makeup, have some lip gloss, enhance beauty, but not to compete with slay queens, enhance the beauty God gave you, but just be decent and make other people admire you and want to be like you, So that's it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Are you ready now?
Yes. When I think that some people dress in a certain way and they want to deceive themselves by feeling that they are not dressed indecently. But when you dress decently, you know it. Deep within yourself, you know it. And if you're not decently dressed, you know it. You know it because when you step out, you see the glances people would give you. If there are parts of your body that are showing, people's non-verbal communication will let you know, because someone who is busty and then decides to wear something that, there's a lot of cleavage, the boobs are shaking, and, everybody who is seeing you, they won't even be looking at your face. Their eyes are, directly fixed on your boobs, And I went to a show just this past weekend, and it's an event for the family, everybody, young, old. And then I saw a young girl. She wore hot pants to a program like that. Ordinarily, that is something you'd wear to the beach or to the poolside, not a social event like that. And when she passed, everybody was everybody would turn and give that awkward look, like, what's she wearing? Unless you're telling me you're not conscious of your surroundings if you step out. But if you dress decently, you feel it, and you're not you're not decently dressed to people's, like
reactions
I said, yes.
So I mean, so you're saying that, okay, as Christian woman again, the guide is, how do I feel? Do I feel like a temple that God will dwell? Am I decent? But okay, let's put Christian women in the world. So Christian women who want to be noticed, So does a Christian woman wear a waist trainer and fake hips? Does a Christian woman wear really tight clothes so that you can see how tiny their waist is, and then they are, kind of sashaying? Does a Christian woman wear 6-inch heels, with maybe even a bodycon skirt to show off? I mean, at which point does religion dictate that, here and then no further? Or are we kind of just, rolling with it? Like, we all wear waist trainers, so, we're going to do that and be on stage and perform with, massive wigs and just...
Basically, Animwaa, life is about choices. She's a Christian woman, but if she feels comfortable in high heels, she should be allowed to wear it. If that's what makes her walk maybe better, why not?
Walk better.
When I wear flats, I walk like Sebio Jimmy. Like
I have the same problem.
I just walk anyhow.
Yeah.
But when I'm in a bit of a heel, like kitten heels or any heel, my walking is a bit smarter, structured. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's about choices. But our point, I think Linda and I are just saying that when you dress indecently, you feel it. When I came to the studio, my dress, I didn't know that when I sit down, it will open up
the button.
Yes. And so viewers, the Ghana flag you see here, we are not just being patriotic, but it's strategic. The producer thought this will cover me better, because he realized I wasn't comfortable. And so that's what we are saying. If you dress indecently, if you have Christ in you, you will know it. Unless when you're questionable.
No, but that's what I'm asking.
Yes.
So how does Jesus feel about waist trainers and stuff?
I don't know how Jesus feels, but anyway, I'm going out there. I've had 3 kids, and I've gone to the gym 100 times. My tummy is not getting back into shape, and I want to wear this kabai slate anymore. I need to help myself small, So for me, I don't think that it's a sin to, try to help your body. Then one more surgery, like maybe you have a problem with your stomach. I'm not talking about lipo. No. Maybe
you've introduced
I've
it,
gone
so
into
why
another
not?
angle. So I was just going to say that those who have surgeries to maybe
Body
take care of
enhance.
enhancements and take care of certain things, then we'll consider them all as sinners. But there are some that they needed to do something to help themselves. Okay, so I think it's about choices, but at the same time, it's about you knowing that this is decent, this is indecent. Yes.
Okay.
And you must feel it, as Linda said.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to add
For
something?
me, I think it will go back to the points that I raised about seeing yourself as God's creation, a child of God, created in the image of God. I probably may be crucified by people who are listening, who are tuned in, but I personally do not believe that you should alter anything about your being.
Yourself, okay.
Because then you're trying to tell God that, well, you know what, you didn't do a good job by making me who I am. So, well, I want to change who I am. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because you as humans, we are imperfect. So if you stand in the mirror and all you see are faults in your body structure and feel the need to alter them, you are insulting God. That's my personal view.
I mean, but how about
If you have an accident, that's a different thing. But
if you have
when
kids?
sorry,
If you have kids,
what does it change?
it changes.
God, I always say this. God knew that as women, once a baby comes in, your body is not the same.
again. Yeah.
The body would not be
Yeah.
the same.
One may argue that's why he created plastic surgery.
No.
No, that one I don't agree.
Okay.
For me,
So
yeah.
once you have kids, the body is never the same. You have an option if you're not comfortable with how you look. You could go to the gym, work out, diet, do something. But to actually decide that, okay, well, I want to, my tummy is too big, or there's a part of my body that I'm not comfortable with. I think I have the money, and so I want to go to a doctor and change. I personally do not think it's a good idea.
you see the place
But
that's
then
tricky. Sorry.
if I want to wear a particular dress and I feel that, okay, my tummy is protruding, and so there's the waist trainer, it doesn't hurt anyone. I'm the one who would be sitting there and feeling uncomfortable and struggling to breathe.
Okay, so you believe in helping yourself, but
Exactly.
not
Yes,
in
I also agree.
permanent
surgical
cutting
way.
and
Exactly.
lipo.
But the
and-
place that's tricky sometimes is some said, I went to remove fat.
No, well, who are
Because
they kidding?
sometimes too much fat can also be injurious to your health.
I
So,
want to remove fat, and then there were some places that didn't have enough.
and I
So I
patched up
moved
here
the
and
fat
there.
from here to
Who are
there.
they kidding?
So that's why it's tricky, because fat can be, but like Linda said, you can burn fat through exercising, through dieting. So it's not a good excuse.
But
to,
you can't move
yeah.
it to other areas.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so it comes back to the point where you feel, okay, well, God, you created me, but then you should have given me a bigger butt.
But,
Well,
yes.
maybe he was
You
busy.
should
He
have
was
made my
creating a
tummy
lot of people.
slim and thin. You made a mistake. Next time, do a
Yeah.
better job.
Yeah. It's all boils down to, your mindset about beauty and
Yeah,
how you
and
see
the
yourself.
self-confidence.
So both of
yes.
you are against plastic surgery.
Well, I am. I would boldly say it.
Same
I
here.
am.
You really.
Same here. I think there are other
Wow.
options if you want to get into shape. Yes, without touching your.
Well, with some things, I mean, so for example, if I've had, let's say, 6 kids and my boobs are like practically sweeping the floor, and I want to get a boob job to feel better, maybe not a boob job, maybe just a lift. I mean, is that
why couldn't
extreme?
God have just made it that you can, well, a woman can have all the kids she wants and her boobs will still stand and be firm? Why didn't he do it that way?
Well, I mean,
I think
don't
it's
know.
about it's about your focus in life and at which point in life you are. You see, right now, my focus is not about my sagging boobs or my tummy. It's about the impact I'm making in society.
You are
So-
very spiritual.
So no. when you know your value, certain things don't become a priority.
Yeah, but
Exactly,
you
because
know your value, but you also want nice boobs.
But
to,
you see,
to please who?
for me,
Yourself.
because
You wear a bikini, feel better about yourself.
myself.
You know,
Yeah.
I think,
well,
I
but-
think
I think there are other options, other than,
for me,
surgery.
I think maybe I've watched a few episodes on where they have this
Botched.
plastic exact botched. Thank you. And if you notice, almost every single person who has had plastic surgery somehow ends up with some
sort of
complications.
issue at some point.
And
yeah.
then you have to constantly be going to correct it. Why would you put yourself through that? Accept who God has made you. I mean, look, are you even, excuse me to say, you see other people who are disabled, deformed in such a way. They are all creations of God. They are all children of God. God created all those people in his image. You don't question God. If we all had the chance to create ourselves, I'm sure I wouldn't look this way. I'm sure anywhere you won't look. But then I accept the fact that this is who God made me to be. So I accept who I am.
And there must be some
then
reason for it.
I build that confidence that I love who I am.
And by adding value,
like Ethel
Ethel
said.
said.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, and we're going to talk about parents. If we feel like this, how do we teach our children to be fine in the world of TikTok and Instagram and everything that they're seeing out there? How do you tell them that beauty is not defined by the next TikTok star? We'll do that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. This is still Strong and Sassy on your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM. Okay, welcome back. This is still strong and sassy, Superstation, Joy 99.7 FM. We're talking beauty. So we've talked a little bit about liposuction. We've talked about plastic surgery. We've talked about waist trainers. All this in relation to the Christian woman. Now we're moving on to children. So I have a teenager who likes TikTok. And I have intermittent heart attacks. When she has discussions with me about the kind of, I mean, last weekend she said where she has reached in life, there are certain kinds of clothes that she feels like she should wear. What are the kinds of clothes? So she goes on TikTok and then, starts to show me some of the things. Some of them are nice. There's the palazzo pants, there's the, really cute skirty shorts and those things. And some of them are a little bit, So how do we teach our children? And if you've raised a teenager, then I'm sure you can imagine, how do you teach your children that, okay, this is what your world, because they seem to have a completely different world than we do.
Yeah.
This is what your world sees as beautiful. But one, it will change in the next few years, which they don't believe because mothers don't know anything, right?
I know, right?
And how do you keep them in that decent space where, you see, my greatest fear right now, especially with raising Christian children, is, okay, I'm going to do what mommy and daddy are saying for now. So it's not the face value teaching of don't wear this, don't wear that. Knowing at the back of their mind, because I remember myself as a teenager, I was waiting to be 16, 18 so I can wear what I want. And I had my face of wearing, I still wear what I want, but my face of wearing what I want. So how do you make your children appreciate the value of dressing a certain way when the world doesn't appreciate it? It's almost like your views are, I think I've asked a very long question, but I feel like you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah, so do you want to start, Ethel?
Yes,
Okay.
I want to start. So let me just give a practical example of how I grew up and how I'm transferring it to my kids. I told them that in our house we have values, and I told them decency is one of it.
Didn't they say, Mommy, why?
Oh, and I'll answer.
Why do we have values?
Yes.
Why do we have to be decent?
Yes, yes. I told them that they're going to be growing up and meeting, a larger group of people. And if you have values and you have standards in this world, you are able to stand out. In their time, I told them that in their time, a lot of children who have probably not got good training and not been brought up to have values will be struggling, but they will stand out in their careers. They will stand out in whatever field they choose to do because they don't just have academic knowledge, they have strong values backing them.
Do you any of your children want to be TikTok stars?
Oh, my daughter is already on TikTok, but because of this values message in my house, that's our house. You can come most of the time. They come and tell me, my friends are doing this, and I said, your friends home is not our home. We are the Mafo family. Your friend is what? Ajimai family. And so I make them have our identity as a family. That in our family we don't do this. We operate in a certain way. We cannot copy another family's values. When it comes to the dressing, I take my daughters. Sometimes I feel like as a mother I talk too much. They get tired of me, so I take them to I take them to programs that teach etiquette, from dressing to table manners and all that. And my daughter herself came to school me that they said when you're wearing leggings, tights, you should wear a top that covers your bum. So she came to actually educate me. So I told her, so you see, it's not mommy who loves talking. There are some basic rules, some etiquette that you must follow.
Clearly,
Even though
she doesn't follow the Kardashians.
So you see, you must first, as the mother, show example. So I teach by example. So there are certain clothes that my daughter will be saying, I want to wear. I'll say, in this house, have you seen me wearing this? I could have worn it. But I want to teach you something. So as the mother, you must, because sometimes too, even though they see things on TikTok, if they also see their mother, it enhances it the more. So as the mother, you must also give that example. You must not be just someone who talks. You must walk the talk.
Yeah.
So I also show example by the way I dress at home. I don't wear tights with a hanging top. Yes. So this is how I get the message across, and it's working for me.
Okay.
Yes, I started early.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I totally share the same views that Ethel just expressed. I think we grew up in similar homes. It was the same principles. My mom would be the one who would go to the shop or the store to buy clothes for me and my sister. We never had that option where we would say that we want to wear this or we want to wear that. No way. If you have the money, go and buy it. But then at that age, you don't have it. So your mother has to buy it for you to wear it. And that's exactly what I'm also trying to teach my children. I don't have a teenager yet. My kids are, toddlers. So it will be the same principle, because that is what has helped me to be the woman that I am. And like Ethel said, once you set those principles, it's easy for them to comply with it. And then as they are growing up, they know that, okay, this is something that mom would not accept. So I cannot decide that, okay, even if I'm earning money because maybe, they are performing certain duties at home and you want to reward them. Even if they have the money, they won't go and buy something and bring to the house when they know their mother would not,
But this
allow
is
them to.
assuming that your children are not going to be rebellious, or they're not going to be strong-willed, or they're not going to go through a phase where they decide, well, actually, you don't really understand.
They
I think you
but
need
they'll
to
come
have
back.
that relationship where you talk to them and they understand. I always say that the first impression a person has of you is your outlook. Even before you have the opportunity to open your mouth and say something sensible or otherwise, they can look at you at a first glance and just decide whether this person is worth listening to or not. It will be based on how you look. So why would you want to give off a wrong impression of yourself even before you have an opportunity to
Because
say
I don't
something?
care what you think, so I'm just going to
Really?
wear what I want. and
Really?
then- you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
this is...
in
this
the
is-
corporate world, you ask yourself, why do people decide to suit up when they're going for interviews?
Especially in Ghana when it's hot.
Exactly.
It's never really made
Because
sense
they
to
want
me.
to create a good first impression.
But then again, that comes
so-
back to society.
Yep.
So why is a suit and a shirt and a tie a good impression in Ghana where the weather is hot, as opposed to a traditional shirt and trousers? Why is that a good impression?
So you remember the instance I cited about a young lady who was wearing hot pants, Excuse me to say, the prostitutes dress in a certain way, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay. So my question to any young
The
person
street
who
side
wants
ones,
to
the hookup girls, they cover everything.
No, they
It's
don't.
a very demure. Oh, there's a class of very demure, very, very perfect, high neck, long sleeves, very long, and they are, yeah. The price is different.
It's
but then
professional.
Yeah.
they do it differently.
Yeah.
Their strategies are totally
Yeah.
different from those. So then how do you see a prostitute and straight away know that she's a prostitute? It's based on how she's dressed. So you don't want to give off that wrong impression even before you have an opportunity to be granted an audience. That's what I always tell myself. I want my outlook to speak for me right away.
But when
And
you
that
have
is-
children who don't get that concept yet,
You need to train them.
The verse in the Bible that says, train up your child the way he should
Exactly.
go, and when they grow, they will not depart from it. It's an investment you make towards the future. It's like building blocks. You have to be consistent with telling them that the way you dress is how you be addressed. So it's something that it's an ongoing conversation. By all means, especially with today's children, you would have back to back. Children express themselves.
yeah.
They are very confrontational,
Mommy will
exactly.
buy it
They
for
want
you.
explanations for
Mommy will
everything.
buy it for you, and whether you like it or not. I remember when I was young, something I really didn't like my mother doing. She used to sew the same dress for Marilyn and I. And Marilyn, sorry, but I didn't like it. And and Marilyn was plump, and I was skinny. Papa. Even I've put on weight in pony. And so when Marilyn wears hers, effatano, it's like it's on her, and I look some way be in the dress. So I never liked it. But you can't even say it. You know, mommy thinks this is the decent dress for church and all that. So I'm just saying that today's kids will ask you questions.
Yeah.
Mommy, I don't like it this way. I don't like, but you keep explaining. You don't give up. You know, and say, oh, you throw in the towel. Let's say wear it like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm going to church with my kids, we battle it out. You know, they want to wear something maybe casual, and I'm like, no, take yourself seriously. You know, so it's an ongoing conversation. And anyway, it's natural for children to be rebellious sometimes when they grow up. I think I also had a bit of it when I got my freedom, my liberty. But it didn't last long. I realized that, you know, I could say, like, I was wasting money chasing trends. When something comes, and I didn't have the money to sustain it, you know. So I went back to classics. I had an auntie who schooled me about buying classic things. Buy your 2 black shoes, 2 brown shoes, so that, you know, 2 good shoes that will cost so
Matches with everything.
Yes, it costs you a lot, but it will last. So I started going back to those advice.
things.
Exactly. When I came here, you know, like I'll say it again, I was very uncomfortable with my dress because I said, hey, if my mommy sees it, my mommy keeps up on me to advise me, next time when you go, you can also add this to your conversations. And so if she sees my skirt opened, she would comment about it.
She'll have concern,
It's because when I was a child, mommy kept talking about decency, you know, covering up yourself and all that. Because if you open up yourself, you just give people a free view of those parts of your
Something
body and
that's
don't
supposed
pay
to be
attention to you.
yeah.
Exactly. So it's an ongoing conversation you have with your kids. You never give up on it.
And
Yes.
and I think that we realize that you know, when you're young, your mindset, your perspective, your view about life is totally different.
Of course.
But then when you mature and you grow up, you see life differently. And because you've gone through the experience, you know better. So I think we need to be very patient, especially with our daughters, and let them look, I've been where you are. I know how you're feeling, but trust me, it's a phase. You will grow out of this phase and realize that you were being very stupid.
I can just see my daughter's face rolling her. It's like,
You know,
Yeah.
you need to
Tons of
understand
patience
that.
with this generation.
every day
Yeah.
you've been where I am. Every day
but
you've been.
I know, because I've been where you are, I know better. So listen to me. Do you trust mommy? Do you believe me?
No.
You know, so if they understand that this is a phase, 10 years from now, you look back and wonder, like, why did I even want this? So understand that if you're a teenager, it's a phase that would pass. Don't make mistakes that you would regret a decade from now.
Okay. Let's talk briefly about looking sexy within the decency brackets. Because, like you said, if our daughters are looking at us, then as much as we're teaching them to be decent and stuff, we also, I don't know about you, so let me not generalize now. So that there are some mothers who are decent and all of that, but they also want to show their children that there is a time to dress a certain way when you want to command the attention of the whole room, or you want to teach them that every so often, you know, you should look sexy, or you'll get married and there'll be, you know, sexy Saturday nights, or, you know, whatever that is. So 2 questions. How do, again, Christian women find that bracket of sexiness? Because it's, I mean, in this world where it's men that you're married to or whatever, you do have to have a certain level of that. And then how do you teach your daughters? Did your mothers teach you to be sexy?
She taught me to be feminine.
Okay, I like
For me,
that.
it was
Okay.
about being a
Yes.
lady.
Yes.
And being a lady came with looking and presenting yourself in a certain way, and
No,
that
but
is
I've
what
asked you-
the
I've
question that I've
I've asked. You are now talking. You are not answering the question. I'm talking about.
Anyway, for me, I think
I've not answered the question better than you, Crab, because you've taken it to deep. I said so.
She's landing.
How did you learn how to be sexy?
I don't think I learned how to be sexy.
So are you sexy sometimes?
I
She's
don't
more than
dress
sexy.
with a view to look sexy.
Sexy.
I dress.
I don't mean to
be
work. Like on
I know,
Saturday nights, if you're going out to
it's not
dinner
just
with your
it-
husband.
for
yeah.
me, it's the same principle that applies across. It's not just work. It's not just church. It's not just, you know, a casual or a social event. It applies wherever.
So if you want to
wherever.
turn his head or have this, remind him of, you know, yeah, you're married to the bomb. That's the kind of sexy I'm talking about. I mean, or no,
So
it's
are you
just
asking a question how we try to be sexy, or how to teach our children to be
both.
sexy?
So the first
Okay.
question was
Okay.
for you as
Okay.
Christian women,
Okay.
and then the second question
Okay.
was: is sexiness a thing that you teach your children?
Yes, but
Not when they are children, obviously, but at some point.
yes, let me give my daughter as an example. My first daughter is
How old is she?
she's 13.
Okay.
She's a little bit of sometimes the tomboy. She likes jeans and stuff
Shorts
like yes,
and
yes,
t-shirts.
yes,
Yeah,
a hoodie, hot afternoon.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, my dear daughter, you know you're beautiful, but I like you to, take yourself a little more." Serious by being feminine. So sometimes maybe in the morning she's just had a bath and no lip balm. Her lips are just dry. She just had a bath. No, she doesn't
Cream.
like. And I'm very intentional about that. Take care of your skin. You know, when you are seen, it's the physical that speaks about you first before even people want to hear what is in your
Yeah.
head, your brain.
Exactly.
So I'm like, go and cream your body very well. Bring the cream. Let's do it together. Put some lip gloss on your lips, comb your hair well, look sweet. I always use the word look sweet. Okay, I don't want to use sexy now.
No, of
Uncle
course
Fat.
not. Of course not, yeah.
So for me,
So-
I like I was saying,
Yes.
the idea is not to look sexy, because if I want, who do I want to look sexy for? That's just for me and my partner.
That's what
But
I
then-
meant to.
Yeah, but I thought you're talking in the context of our daughters.
No, we are talking about the context of you first.
Ooh, that one,
The
dear.
question was you first.
It's a private thing. So in our private moments, we know what to do to be
change your
sexy
lingerie
So who
for,
taught
for
you?
a man.
That's what
some
I'm
of
saying.
the
I
things were self-learning. You
Yeah.
know, in our
In our
time,
society, nobody teaches you
Yes.
that. You know, our
Linda,
mothers
in our
won't.
time, our mothers didn't go to that extent of
No.
teaching us, those things. But I know when I got married, then my mother also started bringing my mind to something. She came to my house when I'd had a baby, and I had taken myself for granted. Like, no,
Jesus.
go in. Your husband is
Even
coming.
when
Go in,
you're, I think it starts when
spice yourself up. She took the baby from me. She was like, my husband will be coming
We
around.
should meet your mother. We should have your mother on the show one of
I-
these
I
days.
Your husband will be
I
coming
think
around
for-
5. Go and have a bath. Put something on you. So she brought my mind to it. But when I was a child, she never.
It never
Maybe
really
she was
comes
just
up.
like it's too early. So it's an intentional thing you have to do to keep up. So every woman
Spice
should.
yourself up, like
Yes,
your mother
yes.
calls
I
it.
Yes,
think for
yes.
for
Wow.
us, our mothers never that subject never
Came up.
It never came up. It was never something that was discussed. But then when they realize you've gotten to the stage where you're ready for marriage, that is when they start to psych you up. And I think the counseling bit also helps, because when you go for premarital counseling at church. The counselors do a good job of letting you know that as a woman, as a wife, you need to present yourself in a certain way to look attractive for your husband. But for our daughters, like I was saying, for me personally, the idea is not to look sexy. It's being confident. So then the sexiness is it's more like, okay,
byproduct of the
no, not even
confidence.
that. Like, I don't want to be sexy for somebody. I'm being confident in who I am for me. Because even when you think you're being sexy, the person you think you want to attract may not even find it attractive. So then you might end up being disappointed. But if you have that self-confidence, it doesn't matter what. You don't need validation from anyone. I remember a couple of months ago, the kids just went back to school.
Yeah.
But before they went on vacation, my daughter actually came home I got, back home from work, and she was not in a good mood. I didn't get that usual bubbly, all excitement, when I got home. And then I hugged her, gave her a kiss, and I asked her, how did your day go? How was your day? What happened at school today? Because I knew that something was disturbing her. Then she, sadly tells me that her friends were calling her Obolo. Can you imagine? She's not even 5 yet.
Wow.
It broke my heart. I'm like, what? These are kids in
Nursery.
Exactly. And they're already defining how
Yeah.
you should look.
Yeah.
So I had to give her, and I'm constantly telling her how I remind her how beautiful she is every single day. So sometimes she dresses and looks in the mirror like, Mommy, I know I'm looking beautiful. Then I pat myself, I'm like, okay, you're doing a good job. So I'm teaching her to
Appreciate
appreciate
Yeah.
who she is. Then I also remind her of the fact that your friends don't look like you because we are all created differently. They are slim, you are thick. They may be taller than you or they may be shorter than you, but God created all of you differently. But everybody is beautiful just the way
they
God
are.
created them.
Exactly.
So don't listen to them. And the next time they tell you you are obolo, what do you tell them?
Yeah, well, you're too skinny, so whatever. Yeah, probably not, right? Anyway, we're taking a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned in. Welcome back. This is Strong and Sassy. I'm here on Joy 99.7 FM. We're going to deviate from our conversation just a little bit. It's the end of the show. But we want to talk to Gloria Abla Pwamang. Gloria is a regular on this show. I think I can call that. She shared her story with us when we were doing My Story. And we want to know what she's been up to. We also want to hear about the foundation, and there's some awareness going on about childhood cancer as well. So we just wanted to touch base with her tonight. Good evening, Gloria.
Good evening, Animwaa.
Oh,
And good evening to your
hi. How
listeners.
are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's so good to hear your voice.
I was listening to the program. Really educating.
Thank you so much. How are the kids?
They are all fine.
Oh, we
They are
thank
fine.
God. We thank God. Okay, so do you want to tell us what's up with you? What's going on with all this awareness stuff and everything?
Okay, so September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Awareness because we all need to play a role in early diagnosis. So if cancer is diagnosed early, the survival rate is higher. So we use September to tell everybody about childhood cancer. That way, if your child has any fevers over time or any swelling, you can send him or her to the hospital. Most of the time, our doctors even have challenges diagnosing. So if it's over time, then you can send them to the hospital, or just so that we can have it diagnosed early and treated.
Right. Okay. Well, how's the foundation doing, and what's new on your plate these days?
Yes. So we are having, in collaboration with the Lions Club, we are having a presentation at both Kolebu and Reach on Saturday. We are actually visiting them. We call it a welfare visit, where we are providing them with supplements to help them during chemotherapy. We are providing them with food stuff for those who are at the hostel, and then hot meal for those on the ward, both at Kolebu and then Reach. So we are actually going to visit them on the ward and then at the mother's hostel.
Okay. So if anybody's listening and they want to get involved, how is that possible?
Okay, so our number, how to reach us? Our number is 055 594 5515. 055 594 5515. So when you can call, you can also donate to the same number. We are on social media at Westwamo, and then the Lions Club as well. They are all supporting us to have a successful program on Saturday.
Okay.
And we'd like to say a big thank you to Joy for giving us their big platform for us to create the awareness as well.
Of course, we're always here for you, Gloria, and thank you so much for the amazing work that you do. Okay, well, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, so get involved. It's difficult. Obviously, you must have heard Gloria's story, so I'm sure you can imagine what that's like. Okay, well, that's us. We're done for tonight. A very big thank you to Linda and to Ethel, my very, very spiritual guests. Coming up next, I see Gary Al Smith, so presumably football coming up next. My name's Addo. We'll do this again next week, Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Stay safe out there.